We want all the smoke, y'all. The books want to get us back tomorrow. On the ball spreads, baby. Coming to you live on April 25th, Saturday, where we have a big slate: EPL, NHL, NBA, and MLB. All right, guys, let's get into it. But first, let's review the day we just had where we swept the locks, swept play of the day. Play of the day, we had the Guardians, Gavin Williams. He led us to the promised land. We had the Pirates at a great value at minus 130. We didn't have to pay that minus 170, 160 markup that Paul Skeens gets. They dominated 6-0 win. We had money on the Cubs on the money line plus 140. We had the Los Angeles Lakers plus 270 on the money line. We had a 3-leg parlay. We went 3-0 on the NBA prediction show that I posted here just last night. We called the spread on the Celtics. We called the spread on the Spurs. We called the spread on the Lakers. All three cash, 3-0 parlay. It's plus 554. We ran it. Guys, absolute heater of a day. We had a kind of a moderate week bouncing around. We've been really hot on MLB and NHL. We haven't lost the NHL lock yet. Since the playoffs have started, we have locked everything. We had the under 6.5 goals for the Knights and the Utah Mammoth today. We also had the Montreal Canadiens to win. So guys, we cashed across the board today. Absolutely swept. So if you want to get in on Saturday, use the code word money. It is a discount specifically for you guys in the YouTube. Just go to the descriptions tab. All of my links are there. Just click on the Winible link. You'll see my packages. Bronze, silver, gold, elite. Elite is going to get you everything. It's my MasterCard, and everything else funnels down from there. Gold's going to get you about 80% of everything as well. Tomorrow's a big slate, guys, so make sure you practice bankroll management. I do have a bankroll cheat sheet inside of my Winible platform. All right, but without further ado, let's get into it. We got our first game up on the slate. That is the Pistons versus the Magic, guys. Pistons versus the Magic. We all know how I feel about the Magic. This team is a hard one to handicap. I'm 0-4 on them. I'll own it. Since the play-in versus 76ers, I have not got a Magic matchup right yet. And with that said, it's the shooting, right? They shot really well against Charlotte. They shot really well against the Pistons in the first game. The Magic struggle to score the ball. They have a really poor field goal percentage. All season long, if we look at what they've done, their season average is 46%. It's not terrible by NBA standards over the course of a season, but the Pistons are 48.4%. We know they like to play in transition. We know they're a physical team. I think that this team can outlast them. I think the Pistons, minus 2.5 on the road is short. They wouldn't have laid this number back in Detroit. This number would have been 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. So with that said, I'm going to take the Pistons here minus 2.5. I think they outlast them. It's a similar spot that the Spurs were in tonight. And the Pistons are healthy, right? The Pistons aren't without anybody. They've got a full, free, and clear injury report. So Pistons minus 2.5. That's the side I'm going to go. I'm not going to jump back on this Orlando bandwagon at any point. I'm going to believe that these guys don't have an answer for Cade Cunningham. He's looked bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody on the floor. Jalen Duran has yet to have a good game. If this guy can get going, watch out. He's combined for under 20 points in 2 games. If he gets going at all and they find a way to work him into this offense, it's trouble for the Orlando Magic. At the end of the day, I can't trust the Orlando Magic to keep knocking down jump shots to contend in this game. That is literally the only way they've contended, is when their jump shots are falling. And I'm going to side with what I've seen over the course of 82 games and a little bit in the playoffs here. They're going to get hot from time to time, and if it's tomorrow and I'm on the wrong side, I can live with it. But minus 2.5 is the better play. Minus 2.5 is a short line by the standards of how good the Pistons are at 60-22. And obviously their road record is 28-13. When the Magic barely, they don't even have that as a home record, honestly. They're 25-15. So look, I'm going to go with Pistons here, lay the points minus 2.5, and that's probably still not my favorite play of the day out of the NBA. This brings me into the next one, guys. Suns and the Thunder, where we've seen the Thunder lay double digits in both games. Isaiah Joe is out. Jalen Williams is going to be out. I guess that's the reason for the short line, is the Jalen Williams. But look, they've played most of the season without Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is a great player, and he's been assisting the ball. Let me not take that away from him at all. You know, he has been assisting the ball this year. It does look like he's going to miss this game. He's got the hamstring injury, seems pretty severe. But they've got enough guys on this team with Case and Wallace. If Isaiah Joe was playing, I'd feel a little bit better. But this A.J. Mitchell cat, he's just as good as Jalen Williams, in my opinion. So and he may even be a little bit better at creating his own shot. He's a little bit quicker, a little bit better ball handler. Jalen Williams is bigger, but I think AJ Mitchell's a better shooter, better ball handler, and better at creating the shot. So I think that just bodes well for the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. I'm going to lay the -9.5 with the Thunder. It's a no-brainer for me. The Suns, that was their get-up game, was the last one, and you needed 17.5 to cover, right? Like, you needed them to cover with a double-digit spread. They're not getting a double-digit spread here. SGA is arguably the best player in the NBA. You could argue that between him and Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Wemby maybe. But even Wemby, as dominant as Wemby is, he still hasn't learned how to take over a game like SGA, Luka Doncic, and Jokic can. So with that said, I like SGA and the Thunder here. Give me the -10. And yeah, we'll keep it moving off of this spot. I don't think we need to overthink it with a 64-18 Thunder team that has a better road record than the Suns have at home. All right, lay the 9.5. All right, brings us to this game, man. Maybe the hardest one to cap of the night because we don't know what we're going to get with the Knicks. Like I said on the last one, we took the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks won. They cashed it for us, guys. We had the Knicks on game one, and they cashed us game one. Then we went back to the same well with the Knicks, and we lost. Or sorry, we had the Hawks on game two, and the Hawks cashed. And the point was, and if you check that show, what I talked about was the Hawks found something late in that game, and they exposed it just in the last game that they won, right? They exposed it. What they found in game one was blitzing Brunson, being physical with Brunson, really getting the ball out of his hands and forcing the other guys to make shots, which they didn't do, right? Like OG, he did have 29 points. That was a surprising spot for me. But like Hart, he had 2 points. Like that, he's the one who kind of lost in that game. But look, the Knicks, and Towns plays well against these guys. I said it last time. If you look at his history against them, he's always in the 20s against this team. He has a couple 30 bombs. This is the reason why it's hard to handicap, because we don't know what we're going to get out of him tomorrow. Now, if this guy steps up and drops 30, 25, 30, that could be the deciding factor, because they don't have anybody outside of McCollum, who's been scoring at a crazy clip here, that's going to do it for them. 23, 32, 26. They need McCollum to get 20-point games in order to win this series and win this matchup. With this being in Atlanta, them getting ready to go back to Madison Square Garden, I think the Knicks know that they need to win this game. I believe that the Knicks come out here and they take care of business. They win this one. I don't want to be on the wrong side here, and I might. Atlanta seems like they're deeper. Their bench is better. They got Kuminga coming off the bench. McCollum's been playing great. We all know that this is a long, athletic, defensive team in Atlanta. Like I said, it's a harder one to handicap because of all of the boxes that Atlanta checks. But at the end of the day, I think that the pressure, the playoff spot, they know that the home court is flipped if they don't win this one. The Knicks have to get this one. They cannot lose this. I think that they come out, they score the ball. We'll see if their shooting shows up. But I expect to see a big game from Karl Anthony Towns, and I believe that we see some of these bench players step up. The bench is what's really been the deciding factor in this one. Just like I said tonight for the Spurs, the reason the Spurs were going to win this game without Wemby is the bench, and that's exactly what happened. We saw Harper go off for 30 points. We saw, obviously, a couple other guys like Keldon Johnson. They stepped up. Luke Cornett, obviously he's in a starting role tonight, but he's a bench player, stepped up, 14 points. That's the key factor. Tomorrow night, who's going to come off this bench? Is it going to be Miles McBride? Is it going to be Shamet? Is Mitchell Robinson? Who's going to give some minutes and produce? Even Mikal Bridges. Can Mikal Bridges get going in this series and get off of this? He had 0 points last game, and I said he can't exceed 10. He's just not a good shooter of the basketball. He's really not good at creating his own shot. So I don't understand, and same with Josh Hart. Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart are phenomenal defenders, but you have the same type of defenders here in Dyson Daniels. He's probably the most comparable player between those two. Dyson Daniels isn't a great scorer of the ball or anything like that, but all three of these guys are very similar. All these guys can score the ball. All four of them can score the ball. It's really Brunson, Towns, and Anunoby. And Anunoby did his job. It was the Brunson spot here. He took over late. But they're going to need Brunson tomorrow night. They're going to need Brunson. I expect to see something out of Brunson, and I think that they keep this thing close enough. And with that said, I want my money on the Knicks here at -114. Let's see if I'm right or I'm wrong. This is a coin flip game. This is all about the production from the bench when the top guys aren't in. And if McCollum can keep staying hot, then it's even more scary. But I believe we see a little bit of regression out of McCollum here. And they put a little bit of a focus on him, take him out the game, force Walker and Johnson, who really haven't been that great from the field. Johnson's been okay. You know, he had his best game last game. But the first game is kind of, these first two games here is kind of what they want to see out of him. You know, keep him a little more quiet, keep him under 20 points, keep McCollum under 20, and I think that's the recipe for the Knicks. Minus 114 on the Knicks money line. I'll lay it. All right. Here we are. Final game of the night. Nuggets, Timberwolves. Another hard one to cap. I was on the Nuggets. The Nuggets got blown out. I said that Aaron Gordon was a big centerpiece for them to win it. But who keeps showing up? DiVincenzo. Who keeps showing up? Jaden McDaniels. Let's click on McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels, 20 points. This team is getting all-around production. All-around production. Not just from Anthony Edwards. He only had 17, and look what they did. Guys, this Timberwolves team is built to beat this Denver team. They built this Timberwolves team to specifically beat Denver a couple years ago when they went out and got Gobert. When, you know, they added these extra pieces to the Timberwolves team a couple years ago, and they beat the Denver Nuggets to go and run up against the Dallas Mavericks, who ultimately went on to the finals and lost. To me, that is the Timberwolves team that we're seeing here in this series. Look, it's the same spot for the Knicks that it is for the Nuggets. I hate fading the Nuggets. I really do, because they're so fucking talented. They're the number 2 seed. This Minnesota Timberwolves team has been inconsistent, but they don't look inconsistent right now. They look in tune. They look in rhythm. Anthony Edwards is leading with intensity and that like Michael Jordan-esque competitiveness. Look, I got to go with the Timberwolves here. I was off of them, and I was on them for game. I was on them, you know, for what series was that? I think we took Timberwolves recently. I think we had the Timberwolves on one of the nights. I can't remember which one it was. It was when they beat them at home. That's what it was. When they beat the Nuggets at home, and they split the series 1-1. That's what it was. Look, I think the series is personally over. That's my opinion. I know some people already think the Hawks series is over. I don't. I think the Knicks have what it takes tomorrow to win it. In this case, though, I want to go Timberwolves, man. I'm going to go Timberwolves here, and my take on it is this. It's plus 1.5. Keep the points. I don't need it. I want the plus money at 106 on the Timberwolves. I know that these guys are going to come out here. They're going to have a great game plan. They're going to try and lean on Jamal Murray. This is going to be the two-man game. Jamal Murray had 16 points. We knew the regression was coming. He had 30 and 30 the first two. I don't believe he breaks 25 again. I think they hold Jamal Murray back. They are showing that if they play Jokic physical, Jokic doesn't really have breakout games. Jokic is having good games, but it's not enough because these role players aren't doing enough. Christian Braun not doing enough. Aaron Gordon's out. Cam Johnson not doing enough. You know, these guys can't shoot the ball. Tim Hardaway Jr., they need to give him more minutes over Christian Braun and Cam Johnson, in my opinion. You know, maybe we see that tomorrow night. You know, Bruce Brown, give him a couple more minutes. They got to get Cam Johnson and Christian Braun off the floor, in my opinion. I know Braun's a great defender, but they can't score the ball. Those guys can't shoot well, and they don't score the ball well. Maybe they make those adjustments tonight. I don't have the inside scoop on if they're making offensive game plan changes. But if they don't, Timberwolves win this tomorrow, and I want my money on the Timberwolves at home with intensity, with the crowd in there, to take a 3-1 series lead going in back to Denver. And then I could see Denver stealing 2 in Denver and forcing a game 7, best case scenario. But that's where I'm at with it, guys. Just to wrap this YouTube video up, once again, we're taking the Pistons minus 2.5. We're laying it. We're taking the Thunder minus 9.5. We're laying it. We're going to take the Knicks minus 1.5 at minus 114. I do think they win on the money line for sure. And then give me the Timberwolves. If you want the plus 1.5, go for it. I don't think it's needed. Money line Wolves. They either win by a lot or they lose by a lot tomorrow. I don't think there's any median price there that's worth taking the spread. I think it goes one way or the other for the Timberwolves tomorrow. They either win it big or they lose it big. And I think that they do it late. I think that they pull away late. I think this will be a competitive game in the first half. They'll make some adjustments, and we'll see. We'll see how these guys score the ball. But that's where I'm taking my money tomorrow, and that's the edge in the looks that I have. And in the playoffs, is there ever truly an edge? You just kind of have the reads, and that's what you got to follow: is what the reads are, what the script is. And for me, when I handicapped the Lakers today at 9.5, I didn't know that Kevin Durant was even questionable to sit out. He just did. And end of the day, look, it paid off big. We sprinkled the Lakers on the money line. They have so much momentum right now. They're in a groove. I actually was happy to see Austin Reeves sit out. I think that Austin Reeves sitting out maybe helped them in the cohesiveness of that team. Yeah, get him healthy. Bring them back in the next series. I mean, I think the Lakers got this thing wrapped up. The offense is not good for the Rockets. We saw Tari Eason struggle to shoot the ball from deep again tonight. So, end of the day, guys, that's where I'm standing and that's where I'm at. Those are my 4 plays for NBA tomorrow. Hopefully you found this information useful. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Once again, all of my plays are in the description tab. You just got to click the link to Winible, and you go over there, use the code word money on any of my passes, and you will save. Once again, we had a perfect day on all of our locks. That is what my system and my packages are built around, are those locks. So when we cash on those little parlays that we throw up in there, and we almost cashed a plus 24,000 odds home run parlay, and almost cashed a player prop MLB parlay plus 1100. Missed it by one Gavin Williams strikeout, and then we missed, who was the guy who didn't go yard for us? And Ryan O'Hearn out of Pittsburgh. So yeah, man, we were close tonight on some really, really big parlays, but once again, we're in profit. No client losses today. I am well in profit and looking forward to taking a couple trips in May. And yeah, man. So let's get it. Let's have a big day. Once again, you know the slogan, book the one way. See y'all tomorrow. Let's get it.